everybody, and welcome to GrassRoots Television version of this year's What's Going On at Aspen Community Theater. And what's going on is the Stephen Sondheim musical Company, which is a romp about married couples and single people and the invisible line that divides them into two worlds. And my guests for this show are Miss Dory Light, who's the musical director and rehearsal pianist, and will you be playing keyboards during the production?
And director.
And director.
Yeah.
And
conductor.
And, you know.
All around great gal.
You, from your lips to my television audience. Besides Dory Light, we also have Travis McDiffett, and Travis is the leading man.
Oh.
And also a board member.
Correct.
And wait, Dory, are you on the board?
No.
No. Okay. And producer?
Yes, part of the production team. There's a group of us.
That's right. Because with Rita Hunter as an emeritus member of the board, who just did everything, including sewed hems.
Right.
You know, now it takes a village, right?
Right.
And you are
more for our sanity than anything else.
Yeah,
You know, we don't have the experience.
Well,
and so all the bits and pieces that she's accumulated knowledge of over the last 40 years, we're picking up the ball, but it's a curve.
Right. And I introduced you as Travis McDiffett, but I should say Travis Lane McDiffett.
Right. Some people will know me as Lane from my years at the Palace.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. When every single guy in the cast was named Travis.
Well, there were only two of us, but it was quite confusing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Especially trying to serve dinners and they're yelling at Travis to pick up his food.
Yeah,
so.
Travis, come and get it. And also Amy Lehe, as opposed to Laha, which is how I mispronounced her name since we did 40 years of ACT together. Wasn't that our first show together?
I think it was.
And that was 5 years ago?
It is.
Hard to
It's our
believe.
45th anniversary year.
It is.
Well, you still look young.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And Amy is in the play, not playing Amy, but playing
Susan,
which
happens to be my mother's name as well. So channeling my mom through all of this.
Oh, that's way more Amy's than I normally have in a day.
That's a lot.
And now Susan's. And you are playing one of the girlfriends of...
A wife, one of the couples.
Oh, that's right, one of the wives. Okay. So remind me who that character is.
So Susan is a Southern belle. So not only is it my first featured part in a musical after doing musical theater for 30 years.
Holy mackerel.
It is also, I have to do a light Southern accent. So working through that, every time I try really hard to do a Southern accent, it turns into dirty South instead of like a sweet Southern belle. So I have a little bit of work to do, but Jeff, our director, told me that I should watch Gone with the Wind and try and channel Vivian Lee.
Oh, yeah, who really has an English accent.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I'll try in my head. So it's my first work on an accent. So time will tell.
Challenging. Yeah, I was going to say, listen to Rue McClanahan.
Right.
Okay.
Do you know who that is? Yeah,
I do.
One of the Golden Girls.
I can do that. That actually sounds really fun.
I'm not the director, so please.
I haven't.
Don't listen to me.
I haven't gone that deep in the pandemic yet to go back to Golden Girls, but I could do that.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I was just reading that director, Jay Sandrich. I don't know if any of you worked with him. He just passed away.
Oh,
And
yes,
he,
right.
And so he directed some plays for Theater Aspen. And he directed a whole lot of episodes of The Golden Girls, and including the pilot. And he switched the parts. This has nothing to do with Company, but I thought this was interesting reading. He switched the parts that Betty White and Rue McClanahan were playing on The Golden Girls.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, we've already seen Betty White be the vamp on the Mary Tyler Moore show. So let's see Betty play the innocent, girl from Minnesota. And let's watch Rue McClanahan rock as the vamp.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And history was made.
And
Yeah.
history was made.
And yeah, that's how it happens. Anyway, yeah, he lived here and he had directed all these episodes of Dick Van Dyke and The Cosby Show,
yeah.
and I Love Lucy, and you know, just like every great comedy show. So, going back to the play Company, Dory, what's it like to take this Sondheim music and just take a cast and get them rocking with
An
it?
absolute blast. I love this musical. That's what drew me. I mean, I live in Newcastle, so I'm commuting back and forth after rehearsals. And the only reason, well, not the only reason, but a great part of the reason is because I love this music. It is simplistic at times and very lovely. It's super complex at times and very challenging. And the cast has just raised the bar and they're just going for it.
Wow.
It's so exciting. I just love going to rehearsals. Mm-hmm. It's just so much fun.
And I'm going to pop in and tell you and the audience, I'm sure you know, that this musical won the Tony Award for Best Lyrics and Best Music when they used to separate them. And it was the first time that Sondheim won any Tony.
Oh, no kidding.
He didn't win
Yeah.
for West Side Story or Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, but this was the one. And
Yeah, the opening number is just a blast.
Yeah.
And everybody is singing something different, you know, and I had to split it up over 3 rehearsals just so that the cast wasn't bombarded and with trying to learn something so complex. Mm-hmm. And it's just a lot of fun.
And so are you still listening to the cast album the whole way here and back to Newcastle?
Oh no, I did that all summer. No, it's in my head.
Okay, so now
It's
what are
in
you
my
listening to?
head.
Into the Woods?
Yeah, no. That I've performed that so many times.
Have you?
Yeah, both here and on the East Coast where I lived before I moved out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's one of my
another great
favorites
show.
too. But
Yeah.
Company is my most favorite.
Ah,
It's fun. It's just fun.
yeah. So Travis, you have been a leading man, but now you don't have a mask on.
Right.
And so will you tell that, will you share your experience as a leading man before this character?
Well, my history with ACT starts in 2002 when I was in the My Fair Lady, my first show, right after moved to the Valley, joined the cast of the Crystal Palace, and got involved with ACT then. And then I've had the chance to be on stage a lot, but I didn't get I played older Patrick in Maine,
With
opposite
me
you.
and Nina.
And so that was sort of a leading character. And then I did Perchik but never like the front man until 2014 when they threw Beauty and the Beast at me.
Exactly.
And I got to even hide behind a mask though and still play.
Yeah.
So it was so much fun and different, you know, learning curve there. But a show that I was intimately familiar with, so that one wasn't as big a challenge. And this is actually not my first throw at Bobby either. I did him right out of college.
No
Like
kidding.
97. Whoops, I just told my age. And except for it took me longer to get out of college, so I'm even older than you think. And and so it's been interesting to get the change in my perceptions of this character.
Oh, how
From,
bad.
you know, a young guy fresh out of school, not really having lived a whole lot of life, but still, you know, had some experience to coloring it with where I'm at now.
Yeah. So you, in essence, on your 2 portrayals are on either side of
Exactly.
Bobby. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I had that experience doing Baby.
Yeah.
First, I was pretending to be older.
Right.
And then I was like, how many pink gels have you got? I have to look younger. Have you run out of pink gels yet? So, but also with Bobby,
Right.
you are pretty much, are you not on stage the entire time?
Almost. And in fact, I think in this version, there's a big dance number that they've decided to cut where Bobby would potentially be off stage for 4 or 5 minutes.
A little drink of water.
A little drink of water moment. But it was very evident in last night's rehearsal, which we joked about earlier when the other group was in here, that I realized as I was about to start singing finally my first solo number in the show, I hadn't had a break. My mouth was dry. I had no water, and I hadn't demanded it because we were just playing, you know. And it was so much fun, and I was so into the scenes and the work that it didn't even strike me until I started to have to sing a high note. That I'm like, I could have used a drink of water a little bit ago.
Yeah, but I can still see it is a show where people are drinking cocktails.
True. And there are moments in the show when we have glasses of water on stage because it is set in a nightclub or there's some drinking portrayed in the cast as well. So I'll have moments to get a drink, but I don't get much time off stage at all.
Wow.
So it's going to be a
It
challenge.
really is a compelling role.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Amy Lehe, you, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You're playing one of the wives, and you've described your character. And what's your experience with the play in general? Have you been in it, seen it, done it? Were you in the Pennebaker movie?
I wish. So I'm on the board of directors as well. So we voted on this and chose this show over 2 years ago. So I've had, since then I'm familiar with several Sondheim shows, but I had not actually listened to the show before. And there's so many different recordings. There's the recording from the 50s, there's the recording from 70s, I think there's a 90s recording, and then the new cast, which is on Broadway, currently opening, I think, in November. So there's all these different things.
And let me interject about this one that's coming back to Broadway. That's a gender flip show.
It is.
Right.
Which wouldn't you love to go see that?
It'd be so fun. So Bobby is Bobby with an I and is portrayed by a female. So it's fun. It's really interesting because they can swap some of the couples around too. So it's a really interesting take on the show. And I think getting to listen to all the different versions is really interesting. And then now we get to work on our own version from Dory's perspective and how we want it to portray it this time and how Jeff wants to stage it. So we made this decision a long time ago, so it's been nice to have a little bit of time to kind of think about it. And I'm, right there in the age group of all of this stuff, so it just felt really perfect for me to be a part of this show, and I'm so grateful to do it. And we're having a great time. It's a little stressful with COVID and rehearsals and all of this being our second or third jobs kind of.
Yeah.
So it's great, but it's awesome to all come together, and it just gets a little bit crazier and crazier and crazier until we open, and then it'll be great.
So when you auditioned, did you have that particular character in mind?
I didn't. I went in and just decided to see what I could do. I was like, if I'm gonna get something, it's gonna be this one. This is my age. This is it.
Yeah.
So it was really fun, and Jeff had me read, I think, three different parts. So this just worked out, and I get to play opposite of my really good friend Gerald, and he makes me really comfortable in my first kind of speaking role because we've been friends since my first production, which was Beauty and the Beast, when we were both in the ensemble playing villagers and various kitchen items. So it's really great, and it's exciting and nerve-wracking, and I'm asking everyone how I memorize lines, how do I remember how to do this. So it's definitely a learning curve for someone that's been doing theater for years.
Okay, so now that you've done all this research, what's the trick to memorizing lines?
Well, I've heard
As if we need it, right?
You guys are pros. I think
Lines, schmines.
the best I've heard two really good things. One, to handwrite it down so that I'm doing it in a different way. And then one of our friends who's in the show as well, playing one of the husbands, told me that he records all of the other parts and then leaves a blank for himself. So I thought that was really interesting too. So we'll see. I haven't done it yet. We're supposed to be off book next Monday.
Yeah.
Soon?
Yeah,
So-
soon.
Robert, or Travis, playing Robert, probably has, I don't know, how many lines?
I don't know. A lot.
Too many.
All of them.
Yeah.
No.
I have about,
Something in every
like
scene.
15, so I'm less nervous than you are probably.
Yeah, but I think that line memorization is one of the banes of a lot of actors' existence.
Right.
But I'm so excited to do it and get your script out of your hand and actually get to interact with the cast.
Yeah,
and
and
really
have a cocktail.
feel it exactly, feel it, and be able to move a little bit more. So I think that'll be really exciting.
You'll be great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't worry about it. And Dory, are you memorized? Are you off book?
You know, it's funny because by the time the show closes, I know everybody's lines,
Oh,
which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not off book. That's one of the things I love being about in the pit and love being an organist. I mean, my other job is a music director at Aspen Community Church. So as an organist, unless you're a concert organist, and even concert organists use scores. In my career, I've never had to memorize. So, no, I'm not off book. I never will be off book. And I don't plan on being off book.
It's funny, I have a friend who's a pianist who told me that as the pianist, she was asked to play Happy Birthday so much that she finally just took a copy of the sheet music and attached it to her piano.
That I can do off book. In the key of F.
Now there's the rub.
Oh, gosh.
So now, Amy, you're also on the board.
Correct.
Right? So are you wearing two hats? Are you part of this production team as well?
I'm not technically part of the production team, but through the board, I work on our social media. So I kind of help with some of the website and the social things. And we're currently, as I mentioned, it's our 45th anniversary. So we are doing a 45th anniversary video series celebrating 45 years through story and song. And our videos are coming up once a week, and including yourself.
Thank you.
And Travis.
Yeah.
Featuring friends of ACT from the past many years. I won't say how long. And those are living on YouTube and living on our Facebook page. And we wanted to do something for our 40th anniversary. We did a live show. So this year at 45, we planned to do company last year, so things got a little, confused. So 45 this year, we decided to do a video series. So it's great. We've had a lot of help from Northrop Studios doing our sound and our video production, recorded at the new theater at CMC. So it's been really fun to do something different, and that's something we want to do moving forward, is sharing community theater, sharing our people, sharing our family throughout the year, instead of one show a year. So that's something that we're working on and celebrating 45 years in this valley.
And you're continuing to add to that series?
We are. I think we probably have another 4 or 5 videos, and then we will move into doing a few sneak peeks of company coming up soon.
Yep. Well, I got to hear a little sneak peek of company at a party that I attended, and Travis very graciously sang the beautiful, powerful ballad, Being Alive, which was dazzling, to say the least. Thank you. Yeah. And audience members might have heard that song sometime in their life. It's a song that's been performed. It lives outside the show.
Yeah, it lives outside the show. Yeah,
exactly. I know when Broadway audiences went to see Cats, in the first act, there's a little snippet of it so that all the theater ladies could whisper to their friends, I didn't know this song, Memory, was in this show. Did you know this song was in this show? And then when they do it in the second act, they're quiet. Yeah. So, and I had that experience when I did A Little Night Music, because the song
Send in the Clowns.
Send in the Clowns, thank you. It was so popular outside the show, and Frank Sinatra recorded it, and
everybody.
Judy Collins sang it, and Barbra Streisand sang it, and so as you start the opening strains, there's that audience rumble of, I didn't know this song was, did you know this song was in this show? So be prepared for that.
Yes.
And stay alive.
I'm trying.
Staying alive,
Doing my
right?
best.
Right.
No, that's the Bee Gees.
Oh, that's a different show.
Or somebody else. I don't know.
So we should mention, because I'm sure our audience is out there with bated breath, their appetites whetted for the information, the most cogent details. So the three of you, let's share those, okay? So Dory, I'm going to start with you. When's opening night?
November 5th, Friday, November 5th at
Okay.
7 p.m. at the Wheeler.
Right. And then that weekend, Travis.
So we run 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14.
Right.
The Friday and the Saturday night shows are at 7, and then both Sundays are matinees at 2 p.m.
Perfect. And Amy, what about ticket acquisition?
Tickets may be acquired at aspenshowtix.com starting next week, or you can go into the Wheeler box office. And we will also have a link up on our website, aspencommunitytheater.org.
Great. And what about if people are concerned about COVID precautions? Travis, would you address that?
Yes, so the Wheeler has adopted either proof of vaccination or a 72-hour negative test for purchasing the ticket and attending the show. And then also you must wear a mask as part of the audience. The cast is all fully vaccinated, as well as the other performers, and so we will be singing gratefully with no mask on. And they are also removing the first 2 rows. This is something I just learned yesterday, and in fact, they're doing that to accommodate the distance requirement, so that we can be available and with the mask removed to do our performing. But we want to keep everybody as safe as possible, and so we were creating the distance as well as requiring vaccination or proof of negative test for the ticket purchases.
Okay. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
And what about, is this the show that we want to bring our toddlers to? Amy?
Well, toddlers, no, because they'll probably start crying in the show.
Yeah.
But no, this I believe really is probably middle school and up. Nothing inappropriate happens in the show, but a few adult themes.
Right.
So most, I believe that's what our director suggests, middle school and up. And then we do have that 2 p.m. Matinees, so not precisely the place to bring all of your children to, but it'll be a great time. And I think most people will be able to enjoy it and get a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when you see what's on television now, it's, you know, to have somebody talking about, I don't know, waking up in the morning in someone else's bedroom.
True.
That's old hat.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's not, the days of Leave It to Beaver and Father Knows Best, even, you know, are behind us.
There's nothing that will scar children for life, so
Yeah, yeah,
it should be just fine.
yeah. So, Dory, tell me about your long-standing love affair with Sondheim.
It started back in the 80s with Into the Woods. And teaching, I teach mostly high schoolers, voice, and I do teach piano, but right now my student body is voice. And so I've been teaching, I taught another 100 people years ago. I performed Into the Woods many years. A lot of the repertoire for my advanced students. I take them to Sondheim, early Sondheim for introduction. I did, a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum for CMC, which was an absolute blast.
I saw that production. That was
and it was
fabulous.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, was it fun. So, and he brings in the unusual. He throws in those chords that you just don't expect. But then he does things like the number Side by Side, which is just a yada 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 yada, you know, that kind of thing. And then he'll have these ultra sophisticated chords and melodies that just send you to another world. And it's just, it just, you know, takes me away.
Well, do you think, Travis, that if somebody's thinking of coming and bringing their teenager and they're unfamiliar with the show, do you think listening to some of the music from the show is instrumental or beneficial?
I don't know that it's necessary, really. I think
No,
it would,
I'm
because
not
it's
saying-
really, honestly, very approachable. even though they talked about the complexity of some pieces of it, and people always criticize Sondheim for not being either melodic or musical in the traditional musical theater sense, it's really something that you can get the gist of what's being portrayed the first time listening. But it might be neat to have that comparison to see the difference between how a cast album, say, recorded it and then the take that our cast has on it.
Well, my feeling is always there are so many little innuendos.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And there are so, like, if you just listen to You Could Drive a Person Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I probably still learn new little, that is even funnier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Right.
So
The
anyway, if
lyrics.
you have the opportunity, I think
Sure.
it can't hurt.
No,
Right.
not at all.
So we just have a few minutes left, and in those closing minutes, can you, as a chorus, remind people when and where and why? Well, not why. I think we've done 27 minutes of why. So just when and where, and starting with you, Amy.
We will be at the Wheeler Opera House on November 5th, 6th, and 7th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Correct.
Good. Travis?
Evening shows are 7 p.m. curtain, 2 p.m. on the 2 Sunday matinees, and tickets can be purchased at
Dory?
Aspen Show Ticks.
Thank
That's
you.
all right.
Thank you.
Or the Wheeler
I
Box Office.
I didn't know if it was Aspen Show Ticks or just Show Ticks.
Yep. And available
and
soon.
Available next week, she
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Fingers
Yes.
crossed.
And there'll
yes,
be
yes.
posters everywhere.
Posters soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And
if-
one of the things about the production as well is that the band is going to be on the stage.
Right.
So,
Oh.
and we have a stellar band lined up. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Actors are going to be interacting with the band. So it's really once in a lifetime kind of event, especially being at the Wheeler. So it's going to be great.
Well, if we haven't tantalized you enough, then please go to Aspen Theater, aspencommunitytheater.org, and look at the website, because they'll be updating information about the show, and I think you're going to love it. I love this play, and I recommend it highly, and I think you should get your tickets and get them early, because
There's only 6 shows.
there are only 6 shows, and that second weekend is sure to sell out. So come and visit with me. I'll be there opening night, and I hope to see you there too. Jeannie Walla for GrassRoots TV and Aspen Community Theater. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to GrassRoots TV.